whispers in the night, the sacred origins of moon magic. Long before written records, before temples and organized priesthoods, there was the moon. Rising and falling in the sky, it governed the rhythm of tides, bodies, and dreams. In this first episode, we go back to the primal essence, the beginning of moon magic in ancient pagan societies. The first worshippers. The earliest humans were nocturnal watchers. In the darkness of the world, the moon was their comfort, their calendar, their goddess. In Paleolithic caves, moon phases were scratched into bone and stone, symbols of time, fertility, and rebirth. The cycles of waxing and waning echoed the rhythms of menstruation, planting, hunting, and dreaming. Among the proto-pagan peoples, especially in Europe, the Levant and pre-dynastic Egypt, the moon was perceived not just as a celestial body, but as a living entity, a shapeshifter between light and darkness. The moon as deity. While the sun was often seen as male, solar warriors, creators, the moon was usually feminine, embodying mystery, intuition, and the veil between worlds. She was known under many names. Selene, Greek, silver-haired goddess riding a chariot across the sky. Artemis, Greek, virgin huntress, twin of Apollo, protector of wild nature. Hecate, Thrace, Asia Minor, goddess of the crossroads and full moon, torchbearer between realms. Rhiannon, a Welsh moon deity of horses, cycles, and otherworldly journeys. Germanic, a male moon deity guiding the moon's path, pursued by the wolf Hati. Tsukuyomi, Japanese, a distant, ethereal moon god representing purity and stillness. The moon was not only observed, she was served. Early pagan societies formed lunar cults with rituals, chants, and offerings tied to the monthly phases. Rituals of the ancient moon. Moon magic was practical and sacred. Each phase was considered a unique energy current, tapped into for healing, fertility, war, protection, and divination. The ancients didn't need apps or almanacs. The sky was their sacred calendar. New moon, time of death, endings, inner work. Women retreated into red tents or sacred groves for dream work and womb magic. Waxing crescent to full moon. Growth, attraction, creation. Perfect for planting, matchmaking, and crafting talismans. Full moon, peak power. Celebrations, healing ceremonies, and spirit communications were held outdoors under moonlight. Waning moon, release, cleansing, curses undone. Magical tools were buried or cleansed, contracts broken or reviewed. Each phase had its rites, often governed by priestesses or shamans who embodied the moon's power, wearing silver, antlers, white veils, or bone ornaments. Lunar tools and offerings. Ancient pagans used natural materials and sacred symbols in their moon rites. Silver bowls of water for moon gazing and scrying, white candles and herbs like mugwort, jasmine, myrrh, and willow. Lunar symbols carved into stones, wood, or bone, offerings of milk, honey, menstrual blood, and seeds to the goddess. Runes, ogam, or sigils drawn during the moon's most potent phases. These weren't aesthetic choices, they were energetic signatures, tuned to the vibration of the lunar body. Moon temples and sacred spaces. While most ancient moon magic was earthbound and wild, some societies built temples aligned to lunar events. Nabta Playa, prehistoric Egypt, a stone circle predating Stonehenge, aligned with the rising of Sirius and lunar cycles. Callanish Stone, Scotland, a lunar observatory aligned with the 18.6-year moon cycle. Mesopotamian ziggurats, dedicated to Nana Sin, the moon god, used for astronomical and magical work. These temples acted as both observatories and portals, connecting the human world with the celestial mysteries above. The moon in the body. Ancient pagan healers and seers knew the moon affected more than tides. She ruled the blood, womb, dreams, and even madness. The moon was associated with menstrual cycles, moons seen as sacred bleeding in rhythm with the cosmos. Emotional tides used in rituals to release grief or summon joy. Prophetic dreams, especially on full moons when the veil thinned. The priestess midwives of old were not only healers, they were moon magicians capable of calling labor, halting bleeding, or guiding a soul through death. Phases of power, the 4 pillars of lunar magic. The ancient pagan world revered the moon not as a static symbol, but as a living cycle, a story told in light and shadow across the sky. To them, each phase carried distinct energetic properties. echoing the life cycle: birth, growth, maturity, death, and rebirth. These were not abstract metaphors, they were real magical tides that dictate intercaste when to rest and when to release. In this episode, we'll explore the 4 sacred pillars of lunar magic through the eyes of ancient pagan societies across Europe, the Levant, North Africa, and beyond. The
void in the moon.
She disappears, not in death, but in silence. In the darkest nights, when the moon hides her face, the ancients gathered in sacred hush. This was the moon of the crone, the void from which all life is born. Ritual meaning. The new moon is a time of rest, divination, and intention setting. It corresponds with death, dreaming, and the spirit world. Symbolically, the womb of the Great Mother, the place of stillness before creation. Pagan practices, oracle rituals using smoke, reflective water, or bones, womb rites healing infertility or honouring menstrual blood as a sacred force. In Celtic and Germanic cultures, women gathered for moon baths in forests or caves, offerings to deities like Hecate, Morrigan, or Lilith, asking for visions, protection, and endings. Modern mirror: try sitting in total darkness with only a bowl of water and a silver coin inside. Gaze until visions or emotions rise. Record your impressions silently, as the ancients did. Waxing moon, the architect of intention. She grows with every breath we dare to dream. As the crescent moon appears and fattens toward fullness, the world responds. Sap rises, seeds sprout, and energy builds. Ritual meaning. The waxing moon symbolizes creation, momentum, healing, courage, and summoning. It's the phase of the maiden, the huntress, the magician in training. This is the time to plant, begin, and attract. Pagan practices. Talismans were crafted from clay, feathers, or sacred herbs and blessed by moonlight. Spells were chanted aloud to invoke abundance, romantic love, or protection. Symbols of growth. Horns, seeds, spirals were carved into wood or worn as amulets. In Germanic traditions, charms were often braided into the hair or buried under doorways. Modern mirror. Write your goals on bay leaves, then anoint them with oil, e.g. rosemary or frankincense. Place them under moonlight until the full moon, then burn or bury them.
The full moon, the throne of power.
She is the mirror of the gods and the womb of all power. The full moon was the pinnacle of the magical month, the night of dancing flames, sky-clad rites, invocations and offerings. The moon in her fullness was seen as the goddess herself, whole, present, and pouring her radiance onto the earth. Ritual meaning. The full moon is the time for celebration, communion, spell work, and divine communication. It represents the mother, the high priestess, the queen. All magic is amplified. It is the gateway to the other world. Pagan practices. Moon circles. Priestesses led chants, invocations, and ecstatic dances around sacred fires or megaliths. Sacred feasting and offerings of bread, mead, honey, or fruit. Communing with spirit allies, ancestors, or gods via trance or drum journeys. In Minoan Crete and later Hellenic Greece, priestesses would use mirrors, silver bowls, or crystal globes to channel lunar power. Modern mirror. Under the full moon, dance barefoot, sing or sit in silent prayer. Charge water, tools, or crystals. If possible, gather with others. Moon magic is strongest when shared.
That warning moon, the witch's broom.
She sweeps away all that must die. As the moon begins to fade, her light thins and shadows grow. This is the phase of letting go, banishing and unravelling, the sacred arts of undoing. Ritual meaning. Time of the dark mother, the destroyer, the weaver. Ideal for banishment spells, breaking habits, or releasing sorrow. The thinning moon carries away what no longer serves. Pagan practices. Rituals involving black candles, ashes, iron, or water poured into earth. Cutting cords, burning papers, or washing thresholds with vinegar/herb mixtures. In Nordic paganism, this was the time to visit ancestral graves and seek guidance from the dead. Amulets were often ritually buried or returned to nature to release their charge. Modern mirror. Write what no longer serves you on biodegradable paper. Burn it safely and scatter the ashes under a tree. Clean your space physically and spiritually with salt or sacred smoke. 4 pillars, 1 cycle. To ancient pagans, these phases were not separate rituals, but parts of a sacred spiral. Moon magic taught that everything begins in stillness, grows with intention, shines in fullness, and must finally return to the earth. This cyclical wisdom governed not only the month, but life, love, death, and rebirth. Moon priestesses and wise folk passed this knowledge through chants, bloodlines, and silent gestures beneath silver skies. Moon, names, myths, and rituals from pagan worlds. Long before borders, before the rise of monotheism, before even the wheel, the moon was already a goddess. And she was everywhere. She had many faces: hunter, mother, mourner, witch, queen. But always she was present, lighting the path of those who walked between the worlds. Across every ancient culture, the moon was alive and often female, revered for her mystery, cycles, magic, fertility, and prophecy. In this episode, we walk the ancient earth and sky to meet some of her oldest incarnations and learn how their worship shaped the core of pagan moon magic.
Selene, Greek, the shining one.
Wreathed in silvery light, she drives her chariot across the night. Selene was the original Greek moon goddess, before Artemis and Hecate took on lunar aspects. She was seen gliding across the heavens in a silver chariot drawn by white-winged horses. Symbols: crescent moon, torches, bulls, white robes. Sacred day: the full moon, ritual offerings, milk, white flowers, honey, moon-shaped cakes. Selene's most famous myth is her love for Endymion, a mortal shepherd whom she visited nightly. She begged Zeus to grant him eternal sleep so she could love him forever. This myth became a metaphor for the moon's eternal return to the sleeping earth. Worshippers prayed to her for safe childbirth, peaceful sleep, prophetic dreams. 2. How Artemis, Greek, the maiden huntress. In the forest of night, she runs with wolves and moonlight. Though Artemis began as a wild goddess of the hunt, she became closely tied to the crescent moon and the maiden aspect of the triple goddess in Hellenic paganism. Symbols: bow and arrow, deer, crescent moon, rituals, full moon dances, forest offerings, coming of age ceremonies, shrines, built-in groves, often near water. Artemis was a protector of young girls, sacred animals, and wild and untamed. Her devotees, often virgin priestesses, used her energy to tap into inner strength, independence, and the primal rhythm of the natural world.
3. Kate,
Thrace, Asia Minor. Queen of witches! At the crossroads of shadow and fire, she waits. Hecate was the dark moon goddess ruling over magic, spirits, the dead, and transformation. Pagans invoked her during liminal times, midnight, the dark moon, and at literal crossroads. Symbols: keys, torches, serpents, black dogs, the triple moon offerings, garlic, honey, wine, bones, black poppy seeds. Shrines, crossroads, graveyards, doorways. She was honoured in Deipnon, a sacred meal left at crossroads on the night before the new moon. She was considered a guide between worlds, invoked in necromancy, trance work, and deep purification. Witches throughout history, especially in Thessaly, Rome, and later Britain, called upon her during the waning moon to gain visions, banish evil, or walk safely in spirit realms.
4. Ran, Celtic Wales, rider of the moon halls.
With silver reins, she crosses the dreamscape. Rhiannon, though not explicitly called a moon goddess in later texts, embodies lunar themes of mystery, illusion, dreams, and sovereignty. Symbols: horses, birds, mist, spinning wheels. Sacred animal: white horse. Moon aspect: full moon and waxing moon. She appears in the Mabinogion, arriving mysteriously on a white horse, singing birdsong that lulled the living and the dead into dreams. Her magic was subtle, gentle, and deeply tied to justice and feminine power. In modern Celtic paganism, she is invoked during waxing moon rituals for manifestation, dream-walking, divine feminine guidance. 5. Luna, Roman. The light in the dark. Moonlight is her cloak, silence her cathedral. Luna is the Roman counterpart of Selene, and like her, was deeply respected in the public religious life of Rome. Symbols: crescent moon, chariot, veils, mirrors. Temples: on the Aventine Hill in Rome. Feasts celebrated at the Calends, first day of the month. Her priests were both men and women. Her cult celebrated lunations with music, wine, and recitations of lunar poetry. Her association with mirrors and reflection inspired many forms of early Roman scrying. 6. Nana Sin, Sumerian Akkadian. He marks the passing of months and the fates of kings. Not all moon gods were female. In ancient Mesopotamia, the moon god Nana, Sumerian, or Sin, Akkadian, was a major deity, father of Inanna Ishtar, the goddess of love and war. Symbols: crescent, horns, tablets of destiny. Temples: ziggurats in Ur and Haran. Sacred work: astronomy, calendars, fate mapping. He was often invoked by diviners and priests to gain access to secret knowledge and cosmic timing. He taught that time is sacred and that magic must be woven in harmony with the stars. Ixchel Mayan, moon of medicine and midwife, she holds the water of life and the rainbow of renewal. Ixchel is the Mayan moon goddess, associated with healing, rain, weaving, fertility, and prophecy. She was seen as both young and old, embodying the full cycle. Symbols: moon, snakes, water jars, rainbow womb. Worship sites: Cozumel, sacred wells. Cenote rituals: moon water scrying, healing ceremonies, womb rites. Her priestesses were healers and midwives, and her festivals coincided with menstrual cycles and agricultural cycles. She reminds us that moon magic is deeply embodied, woven into every thread of our lives. The triple moon, a global archetype across many pagan traditions, Greek, Celtic, Baltic, and Slavic, the moon goddess appears as a trinity. One, maiden wife, potential, freedom, Artemis, Brigid. 2, mother, creation, fertility, fullness. 3, crone, waning dark, wisdom, endings, mystery, Hecate, Baba Yaga. These archetypes lived in the psyche of every moon priestess, every wild woman, every herbalist and seer. In every ancient land, the moon goddess wore a different face, but her rhythm remained the same, a silver breath over the waters of time, guiding witches, priestesses, and wanderers alike. Moon magic rituals: sacred tools, symbols, and spellcraft in pagan practice. As the moon traced her silent arc across the heavens, ancient pagans below mirrored her movement in ritual, symbol, and spell. Moon magic was not just worship, it was participation in cosmic rhythm, an embodied art blending intuition, nature, and ancestral knowledge. In this episode, we journey into the sacred toolkit of the ancient lunar witch, priestess, or wise one. We explore the tools they used, the symbols they carved, and the spells they whispered under silver skies.
1. Sacred spaces for moon rituals.
Before any ritual began, the space itself was prepared. Sacredness wasn't limited to temples. Every hill, cave, grove, or hearth could become a moon altar. Ancient locations: hilltops and megaliths, e.g. Stonehenge, Callanish, aligned with full moons or lunar standstills. Water sources: wells, lakes and streams reflected the moon and were believed to hold its power. Forests or sacred groves, silent places for maiden moon rites or dark moon ceremonies. Thresholds and crossroads, where Hecate or other liminal goddesses were honoured. Ritual prep: sweeping with birch or hazel to cleanse, sprinkling salt water or moon-charged water for purification, marking a circle with stones, bones, chalk, or ash, symbolizing the moon's perfect shape. 2. Tools of the lunar witch. Moon magic tools were natural, handmade, and charged with purpose. Not flashy, but alive with intention. Each tool mirrored a cosmic principle. Essential tools: bowl of water, mirror of the moon, used for scrying, dream invocation, reflection magic. Silver or bone knife for cutting cords, drawing symbols, or channeling lunar current. Moon wand or staff, often made of willow, birch, or elder, used to direct energy in ritual. White or silver candle, a beacon for lunar spirits, also used to draw moonlight into the herb bundles or loose incense. Mugwort, myrrh, blue lotus, jasmine, wormwood, or sandalwood, burned for vision and cleansing. Bonus tools: mirror or polished obsidian disc for inner work and shadow integration. Mortar and pestle to grind lunar herbs during waxing and full moons. Cauldron representing the womb, transformation, and the night sky. 3. Sacred symbols of the moon. In ancient rites, symbols were keys, opening portals to divine energy. They were drawn in ash, carved into stone, worn as amulets, or whispered into being. Common lunar symbols: triple moon represents maiden, mother, crone. Crescent, associated with Artemis, intention and awakening. Full circle, wholeness, harvest, divination, fulfillment. Serpent, regeneration, femininity, lunar cycles. Spiral, growth, flow of energy, rising of the tide. Moon runes and inscriptions. Germanic and Norse runes were carved during specific moon phases. Ogham, Celtic tree alphabet, was scratched into sticks or bones, aligned with moon trees like willow, hazel, rowan. Symbols were drawn on skinned, tools or stones, then charged under moonlight. 4. Rituals by the phases. Moon rituals weren't random. They were precisely timed, often guided by priestesses or wise folk who studied lunar signs and omens. New moon ritual, womb of the void. Ritual work, shadow work, intention setting, banishing the old. Tools, black candle, scrying water, obsidian or bone. Action, write what must end on a piece of bark or paper, burn or bury it in the dark. Waxing moon ritual drawing, ritual work, attraction, creation, spellcrafting. Tools, bay leaves, rose petals, charged quartz, oils of rosemary or orange. Action, carve intent into a candle or leaf, anoint, chant, then cast into water or flame. Full moon ritual, high rite of power, ritual work, manifestation, divination, celebration. Tools, silver goblet of moon water, white flowers, sacred mirror. Action, charge objects in moonlight, gaze into water or mirror for visions. Raise energy through dance, chant, or stillness. Waning moon ritual, releasing the threads. Ritual work, cleansing, protection, cord cutting. Tools, black salt, scissors, iron nails, vinegar. Cut cords of energy with black thread or symbolic ties. Burn or bury what's released. 5. Spellcraft and incantation. Ancient moon magic was spoken magic. Vibration mattered. Words were chanted in rhythm with the moon, often in poetic form. Many early spells were sung. Example, a waxing moon spell to attract love. By silver light and willow tree, bring love that flows in truth to me. Let hearts align as stars above. By waxing tide, I call this love. So may it be. Words were paired with gesture and object. Pagans understood that magic works in layers. Physical plus symbolic, vocals, energetic equals real change. 6. Moon water and charging. Moon water is ancient, not a TikTok invention. It was created by placing spring water in silver or clay vessels left under the moon with chants and herbs. Charged objects. Crystals and bones were charged to hold the lunar current. Herbs, sigil cloth and even spoken words were soaked in moonlight to hold intent. Moon water was used to anoint, bless, heal or banish, depending on the phase it was charged under. Living moon magic today. Moon magic in ancient paganism was not separate from life. It was woven into fertility cycles, harvest, family rhythms, storytelling, medicine and song. Today we honor the ancients by watching the moon and responding with ritual, not schedule. Using what's around us, herbs, water, earth, light. Listening, feeling, flowing with the sacred spiral. Every bowl of moon water, every candle lit, every breath beneath her glow is a continuation of a lineage older than names. The moon and the witch, initiation, dream work, and ancestral tides in lunar traditions. In the hush of night, when the moon climbed high and the world grew still, the ancient witch walked between realms. Her craft was not simply a set of spells. It was a lifelong dance with the moon, a relationship forged in dream, blood, breath, and bone. In this episode, we explore how the moon served as guide, teacher, and initiator into deeper mysteries. We uncover how ancient witches used lunar cycles for spirit work, dream magic, rites of passage, and ancestral communion.
1. The moon as initiatrix. She who casts no
Shadow cannot show the way. Initiation in the ancient world was not given lightly. It often involved facing darkness, surrendering certainty, and crossing thresholds, symbolic death and rebirth. The moon, ever-changing, became a living initiatrix. Her cycles were maps for transformation. New moon, the death of identity. Waxing moon, the path of learning and creation. Full moon, the claiming of power and voice. Waning moon, the release of falsehood and ego. The first rite. In many pagan cultures, the first menstruation of a girl, menarche, was marked with a moon rite, not shame but celebration. She was welcomed into the sisterhood of the moon, taught about her cycles, plants, dreams, and intuition. Women were often initiated in moon tents, red circles, or in caves. They learned from elder priestesses how to track the tides, call dreams, and align spells to the lunar rhythm.
2.
The moon's hidden language. She speaks in water, not in words. The moon was always linked to dreaming, as both rule the tides of the subconscious. Ancient witches believed the full and waning moons were doorways into prophetic visions, past life memories, messages from the dead, guidance from ancestors or gods. Dreaming rites. Moon tea made of mugwort, blue lotus, lavender and wild rose, drunk before sleep under the full moon. Sigils drawn in ash or ochre on the forehead or pillow. Herb bundles placed under the bed to summon or banish dreams. Dream circles where the tribe shared visions at dawn, interpreting them communally. In many cultures, especially Celtic, Siberian and Mesoamerican, the moon was the path to the other world. Witches trained themselves to remain lucid in dreams, using them as oracles, spellcraft laboratories, or paths to healing. And 3. The dark moon and the death walkers. The dark moon, the hidden moon, was sacred to those who walked with spirits, ancestors and shades. This was the realm of the crone, the shadow self, the underworld. Witches, especially those trained in necromancy, healing or curse breaking, used this time to cleanse soul fragments, break pacts or curses, guide the dying, speak with the dead. Ancestral rites, offerings of salt, black bread, water and flame placed at crossroads or home altars. Hair or bone used as a link to the ancestral line. Chants and laments sung during the waning moon to awaken the dead or release grief. In Slavic and Baltic traditions, this was a time to walk the burial mounds and carry messages between the worlds. Dark moon witches were often feared but also deeply respected. They held the power to cleanse bloodlines, heal trauma, and retrieve what was lost to time. Ashahafor, lunar spirit guides and animal totems. In moon magic, spirit guides often took fluid, feminine or nocturnal forms. Animals tied to the moon appeared in dreams or rituals to deliver wisdom, warnings or protection. Common lunar totems. Owls, guardians of mystery, watchers of the dark moon, messengers of prophecy. Wolves, wild intuition, sacred howlers at the full moon, guardians of soul paths. Hares, associated with the moon goddess Eostri, symbols of rebirth and time. Snakes, shedding the old, moon blood, womb wisdom. In rituals, bones or feathers of these creatures might be worn, carved or danced with to merge with their medicine. Lunar blood in the womb as temple. As above, so within. To ancient witches, the menstrual cycle was a personal lunar tide, a living oracle. Blood was never dirty, it was sacred, magical, alive. Many kept moon blood jars, offering it back to the earth with prayers or planting rituals. Some marked spells with a drop of blood, especially for healing, love, or lineage work. In pre-Christian Europe, red tents or moon lodges were places where women gathered to rest, dream, and teach. Spells were woven into hair, thread, or song. Divinations were drawn from patterns in blood, water, or dreamscapes. The womb was seen as a mirror of the moon, and the witch as her living altar. 6. Initiation through moon cycles. True initiation wasn't a single event. It was a spiral. Many ancient traditions required a witch to live through 13 full moons of dedicated observation and practice before they were recognized as a priestess, healer, or spell worker. This year of moons included keeping a lunar journal, dreams, rituals, signs, learning the sacred plants of each phase, fasting, cleansing, and vision quests during key moons, service to the community through healing or divination. Some traditions had lunar tattoos or scar marks placed on the initiate once she completed her journey, a sign of her bond with the moon for life. 7. Ancestral threads. Moon as memory keeper. The moon doesn't forget, and neither did the ancients. Each full moon was an opportunity to call the names of the dead, honour forgotten women, heal ancestral wounds, and continue the work of those who walked before. Offerings were left on hearths, windowsills, and grave mounds. Drums were played to call lost grandmothers back. Their wisdom flowed like moonlight into dreams and bone. Witches served as keepers of ancestral tides, stitching the living and dead together with ritual, rhythm, and remembrance. The witch and the moon are one. To be a moon witch in the ancient world was not a fashion. It was a path of deep listening, sacred timing, and fearless descent into the unknown. Every cycle brought another layer of power, surrender, and awakening. Through initiation, dream work, and ancestral rites, the moon revealed her greatest secret. You are not separate. You are the tide. You are the silence. You are the spell. Forbidden and forgotten, how lunar magic survived suppression and found new life. There was a time when the moon sang freely in every village and forest. Her priestesses danced beneath her light, herbs in their hair, drums in their hands, dreams in their blood. But the world changed. With the rise of empire, organized religion, and patriarchal rule, lunar magic became dangerous. What was once sacred was rebranded as sin. The moon, the most ancient of all goddesses, was desecrated, demonized, and driven underground. And yet, she was never truly lost. In this episode, we walk the hidden path of survival, memory, and rebirth. How moon magic outlived persecution, and how her secrets are returning to light.
Go on.
The silencing of the moon. They feared what they could not control, so they called her evil. The suppression of moon magic was gradual and strategic. Across Europe, the Near East, and parts of North Africa, patriarchal empires dismantled earth-based traditions, replacing them with sky gods, moral law, and written scripture. Key shifts. The lunar calendar was replaced by solar timekeeping. Goddesses like Selene, Hecate, and Diana were absorbed, vilified, or forgotten. Priestesses and wise women, once healers, midwives, seers, were labelled witches, heretics, or whores. The moon, once seen as holy, became a symbol of madness, deceit, and lunacy in dominant narratives. In many early Christian texts, the moon was portrayed as unstable, deceptive, or lesser, a mere reflector of the sun's masculine glory. The burning times. Blood on the moon. The most brutal phase came between the 14th and 18th centuries, the witch hunts. Across Europe, tens of thousands, mostly women, were tortured, executed, or exiled for the crime of practicing natural, intuitive, or ancestral arts. Many of these were lunar rites passed from mother to daughter for generations. They were accused of making moon water or witch's brew, dancing by moonlight, owning herbal gardens or animal familiars, using chants, knots, or unholy symbols. The full moon became a night of fear, as spies and inquisitors watched for movement in the woods. But even here, in darkness and death, the moon remained with them. She lit their prison cells, held their final tears, and guided their spirits to the other world. We remember you. We call your names back into light. 3. The hidden flame, folk women, midwives, and forest crones. Though temples fell and scrolls were burned, the roots of lunar magic went deep. It survived not in libraries, but in kitchens, gardens, and lullabies. How it endured. Folk medicine and midwifery held sacred lunar timing, when to cut, bleed, plant, birth. Coded chants and stories passed moon wisdom to children in rhyme and riddle. Knots tied in string, bread baked at full moon, dreams interpreted in silence. All were rituals disguised as daily life. In Slavic and Balkan villages, the baba, or forest grandmother, preserved ode under Christian symbols, invoking Mary by moonlight, but secretly meaning Mother Earth or Mokosh. In Celtic lands, Brigid's fire and wells retained their lunar essence, though cloaked in sainthood. In the Americas, Africa, and indigenous lands, lunar rites flourished despite colonization, woven into story, dance, tattoo, and spirit journey. 4-4. The moon in exile, magic in diaspora. When witches fled across seas, over mountains into shadow, they carried the moon with them. Enslaved African women sang to Yemaya, a lunar ocean goddess under Caribbean stars. Romani priestesses told fortunes by moonlight, hiding lunar charms in their skirts. Jewish mystics in exile wrote of Shekinah, a feminine presence that waned and waxed like the moon. The moon became a symbol of resistance, memory, and feminine power, a silent companion for the exiled, oppressed, and unseen. 5. The moon's quiet return, 19th to 20th century revival. By the 1800s, occult societies, folklorists, and rebels began digging up the bones of old ways. Key moments. The rise of Romanticism and fascination with witches and nature spirits. The founding of Theosophy, Rosicrucianism, and Druid revivalism, many returning to lunar cycles. The work of Margaret Murray, Dion Fortune, and Gerald Gardner, who helped reframe witchcraft as a spiritual system. In the 1950s, 1970s, Wicca and neo-paganism reawakened the moon's magical role, celebrating Esbat's full moon rituals, honouring the triple goddess, teaching lunar timing in spell work. The moon returned, but now through the voices of modern witches, feminists, psychics, and poets. And 6 modern echoes, the moon in you. Today, the moon rises over a world where ancient secrets are remembered and reclaimed. She shines in, women gathering under trees to bleed freely again, dream workers writing visions in moon journals, mothers teaching their children to speak softly to water and stars, witches like you reading and remembering. Her cycle, once nearly erased, is now tattooed on bodies, carved into candles, drawn on doors and woven into every spell cast in truth. She was never gone, only waiting. The witch remembers. Every time you light a candle on a new moon, gaze into water for answers, release something under her waning arc, dance or pray in her full glory. You are doing what your ancestors could not always do freely. You are part of a lineage that refused to die. The moon is not just a phase, it is a revolution. Quiet, feminine, enduring. In her light we rise again. This episode was for the burned, the banished, the forgotten, and those who hid their magic in silence. It was for you, reclaiming that which was taken, singing the old songs with new breath. You are the spell they tried to erase. You are the light returning. Global moon magic, rituals, deities, and lunar traditions from around the world. Though the languages differ, the rhythm of the moon speaks to every soul on Earth, from the icy shores of the Arctic to the volcanic womb of the Pacific, across deserts, jungles, mountains, and plains. The moon has always been a mirror of the divine. In this episode, we journey beyond Europe, beyond empire, to explore how ancient and indigenous cultures across the world honoured the moon. These traditions are not just pagan, they are primordial, elemental, and eternally alive. 1. Africa, the moon as drum, river, and queen. Across the vast and diverse cultures of Africa, the moon has been honoured in songs, rites, and ancestral rhythms. Yoruba, West Africa, Yemocha, also spelled Yemaya, is both moon and ocean mother, goddess of fertility, dreams, protection, and water. Offerings, white flowers, cowrie shells, coconut milk, silver coins, rituals, drumming and singing under the full moon by rivers or ocean shores. Initiates bathed in moonlit waters for purification and awakening. Dagara, Burkina Faso. The moon is seen as the cosmic womb. Women are believed to carry the moon in their bodies and give birth to ancestral light. Divination tools made of bone, ash, or stone are cast during the dark moon for ancestral guidance. 2. The Americas, moon mothers and star dancers. The peoples of North, Central, and South America hold deep lunar traditions, often tied to cycles of the earth, fertility, dream work, and timekeeping. Maya, Mesoamerica, deity, Ixchel, goddess of the moon, medicine, childbirth, weaving, and rainbows. Rituals, moon ceremonies performed in sacred wells, cenotes, and temple pyramids. Women offered moon prayers while weaving textiles, each thread a spell. Lunar temples aligned with the moon's rising points, like at Cozumel Island. Navajo, North America. The moon is associated with timing, balance, and spirit communication. Moon phases guide healing ceremonies, planting and harvest. Stories of the changing woman echo the moon's transformation. She is young, old, full, and new, all at once.
Mapuche, Chile.
The moon Quirón is a spiritual force who watches over women, water, and health. Machi shamans perform lunar rites with sacred drums, kultran, which often bear moon and star symbols, representing the cosmos. 3. Asia. Lunar wisdom of balance, spirit, and light. From the Himalayas to the islands of Japan, the moon is a symbol of enlightenment, yin energy, and soul journeying. Chinese traditions. The moon is yin, cool, receptive, mysterious. Chang'e, the moon goddess, lives in a palace on the moon with a jade rabbit who pounds the elixir of immortality. Moon festival, Mid-Autumn Festival, celebrated with lanterns, moon cakes, and moon prayers. Families gather to honor feminine power and ancestors. Tibetan Bon and Buddhist practices. Lunar eclipses are seen as powerful gateways for karma clearing. Monk's time prayer cycles and initiations to the lunar calendar. Dream yoga, a form of lucid dreaming for spiritual awakening, is most potent during waxing and full moons. Hinduism. Chandra, the moon god, rules the mind, emotions, and cycles of life. Associated with Soma, the sacred elixir of the gods. The moon is invoked during Purnima full moon festivals for blessings, clarity, and spiritual insight. The moon is ancestor and navigator. Across Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia, the moon guides navigation, planting, fishing, and genealogy. Maori, Aotearoa, New Zealand, the moon is called Marama, and each of her 28 nights has a name, personality, and power. Planting, fishing, ritual, and mourning are all timed according to the lunar nights. Women chant karakia, prayers to Marama, to call down blessings or visions. Hawaiian. The moon phases are called Anahulu and are used for everything from surfing to temple rites. Hina, the moon goddess, is a creator, healer, and protector of women. Moon worship is woven into hula, chants, and sacred salt rituals. 5. Arctic and northern peoples. The silent light. Among Arctic indigenous cultures, the moon is both a light in the dark and a voice from the spirit world. Inuit. The moon, Aninga, is seen as the brother of the sun, Malina. Moon stories are part of oral medicine, teaching children about balance, justice, and the spirit realms. Dream journeys and soul retrievals are often timed with the moon, especially during long winter nights when time itself bends. 6. Europe revisited. Before the scripts, before Rome, before written myth, before patriarchal distortion, the peoples of old Europe lived in deep moon reverence. The Vinča and Cucuteni cultures of the Balkans carved moon spirals, breasts, and wombs into clay figurines. In the British Isles, megalithic structures aligned with the lunar standstills, not just the sun. The moon guided seasonal migrations, crop cycles, initiations, and even the burial of the dead. This was the primordial moon path. Older than priesthoods, older than war. It lived in stone, blood, milk, and shadow. 7. Global threads, one moon. Despite oceans and empires, the rituals echo each other. Singing to the moon, offering water, flowers, bread, or bone. Dancing beneath her light, tracking time and transformation, honouring feminine wisdom, the dead, and the unborn. The moon is the shared altar of all peoples. Her cycles are the original calendar. Her light is the oldest oracle. When we gaze at her, we are not alone. Millions have done the same with drum, tear, smile, or chant across all time. We are her daughters, her sons, her dreamers. You do not need to ask permission to honour the moon. Your blood already knows her. Your dreams already carry her songs. Your breath, your silence, your intuition. They are rituals in motion. To reclaim moon magic is to remember the earth as family and the night sky as scripture. Creating your moon magic practice, daily rituals, modern altars, and living the lunar path. You've walked with goddesses, crossed temples and graves, listened to ancestral echoes, and traced forgotten spells into silver air. But now the path circles back to you. In this final episode, we weave it all together, not as a history, but as a living personal devotion. A modern moon practice built from ancient bones. Let us step into the sacred now and learn how to build a lunar life in rhythm with your own soul. Living by the moon, a shift in consciousness. Let the calendar hang. Let the tide guide. To live in moon magic means to step out of linear time and into spiral rhythm. Instead of weeks and weekdays, we observe rest, release, vision. Waxing moon, action, growth, magnetism. Full moon, celebration, harvest, insight. Waning moon, cleansing, letting go, silence. Shadow work, stillness, womb space. Each week holds its own energetic current. Tasks, spells, even moods flow easier when we align with this pulse rather than fight it. 2. Creating your moon altar. You don't need marble or temples. A moon altar is a living sacred space on a shelf, a windowsill, a garden patch, or a bedside table. Suggested items: a bowl of water to reflect and scry, a candle, white, silver, or matching the phase. Sacred cloth, perhaps lunar patterned, black, white, or indigo. A moon symbol, statue pendant, carved shell, clay moon phases. Herbs and flowers, mugwort, jasmine, myrtle, rose, lavender. Crystals, moonstone, selenite, labradorite, quartz. Personal tokens, feathers, bones, keys, dreams, poems, blood, for some. Change the altar with each phase. Let it breathe and evolve with you. Rituals by their phases. You now know the ancient ways. Here's how to root them in daily, simple practice. New moon. The womb of creation. Cleanse your altar and your body. Sit in darkness with a candle. Write what you release and what you invite. Burn the paper or bury it. Drink moon tea, lavender plus rose, mugwort, and rest.
Waxing moon, draw to you.
Create sigils or charms for your intentions. Anoint your tools or body with oil, like rosemary or cinnamon. Speak affirmations aloud beneath the stars. Take action steps with lunar awareness.
Full moon, power and presence.
Light many candles, chant, dance, or remain in sacred stillness. Charge water, crystals, tools, or tarot under moonlight. Perform divination, cards, mirror, smoke, or bowl. Write a gratitude list or share a full moon meal with others. Waning moon, release and purify. Take a salt bath, smudge with wormwood, frankincense, or cedar. Cut energetic cords, visualize, chant, or use thread, not magic. Journal what no longer serves you and let it go. Perform shadow work with mirrors or dreams. For daily moon connection, you don't have to wait for the full moon to practice. Daily rituals suggestions. Look at the sky. Greet the moon aloud. She's a living spirit. Keep a moon journal. Track dreams, feelings, and moon phases. Pull a daily tarot oracle card to reflect her message. Stir moon-charged water into tea, soup, or bath. Whisper a wish or prayer into a silver candle. Place your hand on your heart each night and say, I am in rhythm, I am in light, I am in shadow, I am in cycles. 5, the moon witch's code. As you build your practice, remember that ritual is not performance, it is presence. Craft your own code, but here's a whisper from the ancients. 1, honor the cycle, not the outcome. 2, speak the truth even in silence. 3, let intuition be your first language. Tend to the unseen, plants, bones, dreams, ancestors. 5, be still when she is dark, be radiant when she is full. 6, reclaim your body as a lunar altar. 7, protect the sacred within and around you. Weaving the threads together. Your moon practice may include monthly rituals by phase, seasonal and astrological moon cycles, e.g. lunar eclipse, supermoons, blue moons, ancestral work timed to lunar tides, moon herb growing, harvesting and potioning, writing spells, poems or letters to the moon, menstrual rites and blood offerings if applicable, ocean or water magic, singing and dancing beneath her light. It is yours. Shape it, bless it, evolve it. 7, you are the moon's temple now. You carry her memory. You are the witch she rises for. Every breath you take in awareness is a spell. Every drop of water you bless is a rite. Every time you close your eyes and listen, you become her priestess again. You are not just honoring the moon, you are continuing her lineage. May you rise, may you rest, may you reclaim, and when others forget, may your ritual remember.